This last election and the events that have unfolded over the past few weeks is a clear indication of why Nigeria is where it is today, despite the natural resources and human capital this country is blessed with. Our leaders have spoken constantly and consistently about taking steps to alleviate poverty, improve security of lives and property within the country, provide electricity, among other things. However, it's been clear over the years, and we're just beginning to confront this fact, that the sole focus of most politicians seeking for leadership positions in Nigeria is the national treasure. These politicians have successfully incited violence among their followers, systematically encouraging religious and tribal war just to keep Nigerians divided and distracted while they loot the treasury and sell the country's natural resources to the highest bidder. The citizens have been on loop survival mode. Most Nigerian parents can hardly send their children to school. Civil servants, after 30 to 35 years of service, cannot afford to own a 3-bedroom apartment. Let's not even talk about paying pensioners their entitlement. These leaders own mansions abroad, send their children to the best schools in foreign countries, go for their medicals in the best hospitals abroad, while Nigerians are left with substandard medical facilities, and yet they claim they are here to serve. When I was reading the Encyclopedia of African History, a few phrases in that book really hit me. One of them is this: when the British arrived in Africa, they met a people of warring tribes, which means the tribal war had been an issue that had existed way before the arrival of the British, and not from joining of diverse people and regions in an artificial entity. Why these leaders are using the ethnic and religious diversity as a means of gaining advantage and achieving their goals within the continent, their families are living freely in other parts of the world where ethnicity is hardly an issue. When I started touring Akwa Ibom State, one of my goals was to uncover some of its history. See how we can revive the folktale stories that gave us a glimpse into how our ancestors lived, while exploring some of the many possibilities these cities have to offer. However, most of the tales I heard wasn't something I wanted to share because I really didn't see how it could motivate, inspire, or educate my audience. So I decided to get creative and change the narrative. These stories bear bitterness, resentment, and have encouraged fear among the people, hence the many religious and prayer houses you see in almost every street corner you turn. I cannot forget the day I listened to my neighbors argue about Akwa Ibom and Cross River, which existed first. You could feel the anger burning deep while trying to establish facts, and at the end, everyone went back to their apartment feeling frustrated, which led to unofficial malice. I hear people talk about how dividing Nigeria is the best course of action, and I laugh because I do not think that the people agitating for this division have thought things through. Have you ever wondered why people from the eastern part of Nigeria prefer to settle in the north, in spite of what they are facing in this region, rather than go back to their homeland? I'm not even talking about a person's right to choose where they want to live within their country of citizenship. Let's leave this discussion for another day. Nigerians are mentally enslaved. We are held captive by the teachings and promises of our religious leaders and politicians. We are so afraid of what we could discover if we decide to question the odds. Change is difficult, so we would rather stick to the norm because it's easier that way. The truth remains that Change is the only constant thing in life. So it's either we intentionally choose to change the narrative, or we will be forced to accept the change that is going to occur. And the latter is more difficult to live with. The events of the past weeks have been heartbreaking. I have spent weeks feeling sorry for myself and other well-meaning Nigerians. Now it's time to get up and keep moving. Nothing good comes out of pity party. Nigeria is a beautiful and blessed country filled with amazing possibilities. And by the grace of God, we will explore every nook and cranny of her, while finding ways to enlighten our people by changing their orientation. No one does better until he or she knows better. Our leaders keep dangling the idea of freedom before us like it's some reward rather than our basic human rights. They make our living conditions terrible, which breaks us to our very soul, thereby losing our ability to resist them. They've made us think we are helpless, living in hopeless conditions, so we are focused on surviving, every man trying to bring his neighbor down so we can get ahead, which is not supposed to be so. Ibiri o, Ibiri Kambiri, a song written by the late Oliver the Cook, comes to mind at this time, which means, leave, let me live. They understand that there is strength in numbers, so they do not want a united nation. But if we can put aside our differences, with the understanding that our diversity is a blessing and not a curse, as most have been thought to think, then we will have an amazing future ahead. Thank you for watching. This is Kemdy Mbago. Please hit the subscribe button. Let's get to 1,000 subscribers and hopefully we can get monetized soon. So we have a means of sponsoring the trips we have planned out for this space, okay? Till I see you in the next one, stay safe, stay blessed. Much love from here. Bye.